What did basketball taught you about resilience and mindset?
Well, basketball was everything. Well, it is still everything for me, in a different aspect of my life right now. But basketball teach me a lot. It teach me to be persistent, to be resilient, as you said, to be obsessed with the game in the sense that I have to train for myself to be better every day, even the days that I didn't want to do it. Like you've heard a lot of people or a lot of athletes say, "Oh, I had to do it when I didn't want to," and that is really true because there's some days that your body is just gonna say, "Stay in your home, stay in your bed, relax, put the Netflix on, play the PlayStation and all that, eat what you want to do, eat what you want to eat." But still, the goal to be on the top level or try to be on the top level was weighing way, way, way much than all the mental aspect of, relaxing. Because in sports, even though that, yes, it's important to relax, it's important to recover and all that, it's still a point that you have to keep on going, even the days that you won't, that you can't or you won't. Because if you work hard and you are consistent with it, there's a higher chance that you're gonna reach to the level of that you want to go, even though that there's some aspects in life that are variables, if you want to talk about it, that we cannot control.
Mm,
So at least in the mental aspect, I was trying to do what I can control every time I wanted to do it, even though sometimes those days, they were draining. Like in the aspect, like, oh, I just don't want to do this anymore. But I was obsessed with the game. I still am. But that actually helped me in a way that a lot of people would actually say, okay, this is a way to get there. And the sense that I actually had some people, like for example, when I went to the United States, I learned from a lot of people how they approach the game,
mm,
and it was actually very similar to it, even though they actually implemented on the way to, okay, there's time to train and there's time to recover and there's time to relax, which is something that I actually learned later when I was a basketball player in my life. And
mm,
actually, it's actually really good because there's something that is really good that you can be obsessive about it, but you need to recover and have your time to relax as well, because it's
mm,
not always like working, working, working. We're not we all not are not Kobe Bryant, that they can train 4 times a day and be really obsessed with the game. Like there's some aspects as well that we cannot control about it. And the good thing is that we're actually now learning how to progress on that department,
mm,
progress on that part, progress on the mental aspect of, it's not all work, but you have to always you have to recover as well.
mm. Interesting. You mentioned right now, like, we can't be Kobe Bryant, right?
Mhm.
And what I see also, like, professionals or like also starters, they're doing the comparison with like others, and
Mhm.
that's like so crucial. What do you think about comparison with others?
And has their own life. Everybody is unique. Kobe Bryant was unique because he was so obsessed with the game that he wanted to do it the best that he wanted. And the way that he wanted to was like relentlessly practicing his craft, which is a really, really good thing because he was actually painstakingly just working on his craft. And obviously, if you're consistent with it, like I said before, you're gonna perform well because there's no way whatsoever that would deny that you would actually not perform at a good aspect with that mentality. Because even though you have like a bad, like, let's say we can have like a bad night. You have like 4 chances before in front of goal and you miss all of them. It's gonna happen. But the thing is that you're gonna be really good mentally because you're actually working on your craft all the time, and this is bound to happen because you can fail.
Mm,
Failure, it doesn't mean that you're not gonna learn from it. Failure means that there's room for improvement, as well as if you succeed, then you can't like recreate what happened that day because not
mm,
every day is gonna be the same.
yeah.
You just gotta be mentally aspect. Okay, I gotta still be working. I gotta still be consistent so that I can actually have like that type of performance again and again and again.
Mm,
Not in the sense that you're gonna recreate. Oh, you had a hat trick. You're not gonna do it. You're not gonna get a hat trick the next game. You're just gonna have to work through it. You're gonna work basically with it so that you can actually have a chance to perform another hat trick another other game,
mm,
which is like really different because people think that when you have a good game, you're gonna gotta have a good game the next day, which is false. It's a false statement because you have to work even though that you're performing well, you have to still work. And in the sense of what you were asking, well, everybody is their own person. Everybody has their own feelings. Everybody has their own emotions, or everybody has their own way of working. You can actually recreate that Mamba mentality, but between of what you can and what you have,
mm,
because there's some people that have resources and there's some people that have others. There's some people that have that they don't have like the time that Kobe Bryant had to work on his game. So what you can do is just implement the mentality of what he wanted to progress on the message, which is like love what you do, work on your craft, and keep on going.
mm,
No matter what the result is, if you are relentless with it, you're gonna succeed.
mm. Yeah, amazing. Amazing. It reminds me also like of one of quote that like it goes, make a comparison with your yesterday self, right? Like
Exactly.
take yourself, because as you mentioned right now that like everybody has a unique setup, right? And
Hmm.
everybody has different opportunities, everybody has different resources, right? And if I compare myself with somebody who's like maybe at his day 2000 and I'm at my day 20, right?
Hmm.
It's hard to say like, okay, come
Yeah.
on, I have to compare myself with myself. What
Yeah.
would you say about your own career? Because I think comparison is a normal thing what comes.
Yes.
What was in your career one of the toughest mental challenges you had?
Okay. All right. I'm gonna start off with like comparison is the kill of joy
Mm,
because when you start to compare yourself with the life of others or how they do it or what they do, you're gonna see that how they did it was like less effort, but they went higher. And when you do it, it's like, oh, I went through all this effort and I'm still not in the point that I want. When all you gotta do is just take the comparison with them and just say, okay, if he did, I can do it as well.
mm,
Just take it on a positive aspect, not compare yourself like, oh, I gotta do this and this so I can reach there. No, because it's your own journey.
mm,
Your own journey has to have your own sense of way. You can only learn from others, but only you have to put in what you want to do. You have to know what you want to do. You have to painstakingly do it every day. When I was like comparing myself to others, it actually put me in a mental state that it was like in a negative way because I was saying to myself like, oh, okay, so I'm doing all this, I'm not reaching anywhere, so what am I supposed to do? What else can I do?
mm,
And when you're in that anxious spot, like doubt starts to cloud your head. There's a lot of self-doubt, there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of anxious, there's a lot of depression as well when you're actually in that state of comparison
mm,
because you want to do well, you actually want this, and the people that are trying to go professionally want it a lot. The problem is that Some people are gifted physically.
mm,
Some people are gifted with accuracy. Some people are better than this and are better than that. And when you do that on the comparison level, it only puts a list of negative parts that you have to, put for
mm,
yourself. And all that is just like sums up in a whole lot of mental aspect of pressure that you actually break down. You can actually break down to a sense that you actually retire from the sport.
mm.
And that's something that happens a lot throughout like teenagers, kids, and actually like people that are like young adults when they actually want to do the transition. And the only thing that you can do when it happens with that comparison is just like you said, compare yourself with what you did yesterday, because that's how you can maintain yourself present.
Mm,
As you maintain yourself present, you know what you want to do, you know what you have to do, you know your goals, and you know what you want to reach. But when you're like when you're staying present, you're doing everything that you can in your power or in your control to get to that goal. And if something, let's say, something happens that you can't reach your professional goal, you can still look back without regret because you did everything that you could
mm.
inside your time and inside your control, which is actually more rewarding because you were experiencing your whole journey and you were just like focused on your main goal. And
Yeah.
that's how you reach to like towards like happiness, gratitude, and all that, because you recognize that all your hard work that you did, even though that you didn't reach it, because sometimes it's more important the journey than the finish line.
Mm. Yeah. Well said. You mentioned also right now, like for young adults, and when it comes to transitioning, how was it for you? Like you're transitioning from as a professional into sports psychologist, and then also the move to Madrid. How did you manage these, and why?
Well, when I was doing my transition, it was actually something that was not in my control.
Mm,
Uh, something happened like in my life that actually transitioned me towards it because uh I was like my like basketball career was cut short, but it wasn't something that I could control. It was something that the higher ups had control over it. And when it happened, I got in a depressive state and in a very emotional state because it was something that I was not doing. It was because I was doing all that I could in the point, but it just didn't happen for me. And when it happened, I was like painstakingly depressed. I was like 1.5 months just like close on my house, just not doing anything because it was like really draining for me just to go outside.
mm,
Because and one day I went with my parents to the cinema and we were actually watching like a Spanish movie in Madrid, and it was like situated in Madrid, and they were talking about psychology in the movie. And then I got the idea of like, oh, I always liked psychology. Like I always wanted to like study it further because I had like a minor in psychology in college. And when that happened, I was like, oh, this is actually refreshing. And then I was thinking of, oh, is there like a division for sports in psychology?
mm,
And then when I was researching it, I came across with the Real Madrid school, and I was like, okay, Real Madrid it's well known for excellence, for everything like higher up. Like I can't say the words in Spanish because I'm like trying to listen it, but it all represents like verbs that actually represents like excellence. And when
mm,
I went to, and when I did my research, I actually liked what they were referring, what they wanted to tell you, and all that for the masters. And I actually agreed upon it and went to do the interview and all that. And everything happened so fast, like the interview, the acceptance letter, the all that, like everything went so fast, and it was like, okay, so if this is happening so fast, it means that I'm actually going through to the right path, to the
Mm,
path that I wanted to, which is still getting involved in sports, but in a different way. Now I don't have to play. Now I teach the players how to be mentally prepared for what they have to do.
mm,
And it's actually and it actually was refreshing because at the like at that point I was just being an Uber driver,
mm,
like not even playing basketball anymore. I couldn't go on the court or anything because it reminded me that like in that time it was a failure,
mm,
that I failed when it never was. I was blame myself that I did this to myself, but it wasn't even that. It wasn't even my fault. But I actually had to go through the process of pain to learn that.
mm,
I had to go through the process of being in Madrid. I had to go through the process of doing the whole masters to get to this point of acknowledging myself of what I did for that time of the from that part of my life, and through the whole journey that I had of being a basketball player.
mm,
So it was actually really rewarding that the transition from pain to knowledge I had to go through it, and I had to learn through my mistakes, and I had to always, as well do a retrospect of myself of did I actually did everything that I could in order to be what I wanted to be, and the answer was yes, I did. So what I was talking about before is like, okay, so this is refreshing that I did everything that I could, so I can actually be okay with myself and not regret anything that I did in my life.
mm. Amazing. Like it's also powerful to listen like you're transitioning, going from pain to finding a new purpose, like coming from I can't be on the court, but now I can help others to go through this because I know how I went through. Let's get to this point because I think that's very powerful also for others players. They are right now maybe facing the same situation and
Mhm.
they don't know how to overcome it. Which kind of practical advices would you give them? Maybe like a step guide how they can process through this pain, because I think a lot of players, they are maybe the stigma is too high, right? They don't speak about it. They think they are the failure, right?
Mhm.
And maybe they are now right now the Uber driver, right? And they don't know how to
Mhm.
come out. What would you say them how they can overcome it?
Okay, listen here, Uber drivers. This is all for you. First, acknowledge yourself. Acknowledge yourself that you did everything that you could to your power. Acknowledge that every situation that happened in your life shaped you to a way that you could be either resilient or you can actually blame people for your failures. The way that I did was first I was the person that I blamed others for my failures because I couldn't handle that I was the person that I was actually doing the most damage to myself.
Mm,
And the way that I was thinking that I was losing my time just like going to practice at times because I was actually thinking so negatively of myself because there was a lot of people like this goes back to the comparison. There was a lot of friends on mine that were going to the league, but I was always the one that was like cut last. Like I was like 3 times I tried to go to the Puerto Rican league, uh, and I was the last cut in 3 teams. So it was like painstakingly like okay, like what is going on?
mm,
But when you realize it, or when I realized that that cut was not something on my control, because I did everything that I could. And actually I had like really positive feedbacks of the coaches and the players when I was trying out. It's something that actually resonates with me, that you have to control what you can control, and you can only do so much in order to go forward, which is freaking acknowledging whatever you do positively, of course, for yourself in the sport, and how strong mentally you have to be in order to receive all those no's and keep on
Mm.
going.
Yeah.
Because you will have no, and you will have people that would actually doubt whatever you did, or how you get there, because or either they didn't get there, or they didn't win, or they just say, oh, I'm a better individual player than you,
Mm.
because again, comparison. But there's no step by step to actually get better. Everybody heals in a different way. But I will say this: please, in the love of God, love yourself as much as you can. Be consistent with your craft. Like, for example, you have to be consistent and disciplined with whatever you want to do. Be open-minded to acknowledge or get people that will actually support you and say the truth to your face,
Mm.
which is really, really important. Not have people that are yes men at the like beside you, because those people are not the people that want to see you well, see you perform, or see you do things that you have to do. Take the people that are basically taking like telling the truth, because those are the people that are your people.
Mm.
Other thing is that be be so consistent that people start to like be mad at you,
Mm.
because those people are just reflecting themselves with their efforts, and comparing to you. Don't compare yourself to others, but let others compare you, you know?
Yeah.
Because you're not putting your mental aspect, or your whole, is it, how do you say it? Um like your whole attention to that, because it's not worth it. You're putting the attention to what you want to do or what you have to do, and that's how you get there. Because obviously, if you go if you throw your attention to the others, comparing yourself to the other person, or for putting your attention towards something that is not involved with what you want to do in your life,
Mm.
then you're gonna create that inconsistency, and you're not gonna have that discipline, and then whatever you were working, you're gonna lose it, because you already are thinking of other things that you're not have to do, or unnecessary in this aspect. So let's go back. First, you gotta love yourself, acknowledge yourself, be consistent, be disciplined, and actually, in the last one, have fun. You
Mm.
have to have fun with your journey. Like, you have a goal, yes, that's important, because you have a standard that you want to go. But man, you can actually learn so much from the journey that you're going through. I'm actually having chills right now. Um, you can learn so much throughout your journey, that is more important than the person that becomes when you reach your goal. Because the person that you're gonna transition in when you're going through it, man, you're gonna go through a lot of emotions, a lot of things, a lot of problems, that it will actually help you grow on the long run, and you'll be able to teach a lot of people about your journey, and how they can approach the game, or approach the sport, or approach anything in life through those lenses,
Mm.
which is something that actually. I'm currently still learning through it right now.
Mm. Yeah, powerful. That's powerful. And also, like what you say, like still learning. I think there's no end on it, you know? It's like always learning. And one of my mentor told me that like if you think you achieved master level, be a student in the next one, right? Because like there's always improving. Because what I think about, like, for example, let's say Kobe or like Jordan, they were at the top, but they never stopped learning,
Hmm.
right? And then when I listen to young players and they say like I'm already good at it, and I was like, come on, like you're not Jordan, you're not Kobe, and they never stopped learning. How can you say that you're already good at it?
Yeah.
And that's like I think powerful what you say.
Yeah, but it's
To
good. But it's actually good that they think that way because that's how you learn on the long run. In the sense that uh, when you actually fail, when you're thinking like that, like it's a young, immature person. It's a young athlete. That's a normal mentality of it. Like, okay, I know this, I know that, I'm better than this, I'm physically more better than you guys, and all that. After they went to the professional level, and then they received like like the knock of reality, then they're gonna start learning because of the failure, because what I said,
mm,
because they failed.
yeah,
And failure, and the thing is that those athletes are either gonna shape themselves to be a great, or those athletes are just gonna stop because that's it. Because, oh, okay, like my mentality is that I'm the best, and then somebody beat me, getting like starting in the league, and then like, okay, so I gotta do this and that. I gotta reevaluate everything that I'm doing. I gotta painstakingly work harder now. So I either want this or don't want this. And then now you're gonna see it, like the people that actually want it and the people that don't. And they
mm,
were just like living in that bubble of perfection because, like I said before, people that are yes men, they were saying, okay, you're the best, you're the best, you're the best, you're the best, you're the best. Putting that like mental tone in your head and believing through that you're the best, you're the best, you're the best. You're sometimes are gonna go through a wall. You have to go through a wall, or you're gonna hit a
mm.
wall that's so hard that you have to reevaluate everything that you have to do or everything that you know.
Yeah, yeah, that's a really good point. Going from like you're transitioning to Real Madrid academies, like right now you're working also with combat sports, right?
Yeah,
Coming
that is true.
coming coming from team sports now to like individual sports. What is the difference on the mental side, and how do you coach them?
Oof, so much, so much. For example, like I've been, always have been playing team sport, and now I'm actually coaching individual sports. So that transition alone was like really, really difficult in the sense that I had to learn the sport because I'd never played a combat sport in my life. Only, like playing hands with my friends and all that,
Mm,
but like not in the sense that and the mental preparation of it, like the mental aspect inside, like in the tatami and the combat and the post. Like this
mm,
is a mental aspect that are different because sometimes um those same athletes like doubt themselves because of how they trained. Not only that, and the mental aspect of like the parents like is not as strong as in the team sport. Like
mm,
the parents won't give them like much like pressure or that because they never fought. While in the team sport, they think, or they have like knowledge because they've watched them through practice a lot of times.
mm.
then they will have like a knowledge and say, oh, I'm like I can say that my opinion because I watched you play or I watched you do this and that when they never went through that.
Mm,
So they have like a more respect on this in the individual aspect of combat rather than the team sport in basketball, volleyball, football, soccer, like, whatever, like all those team sports. So
mm,
it's like really different on that part. On the other hand, I have to be attending people that actually want to hit you. Like that mental aspect alone is like really, really anxious.
yeah.
I've never went through that. I knew that I was okay because yeah, I was okay with a little bit of elbows to this and that because it's part of the game, but it's illegal. Here, it's illegal to hit you. Like the whole aspect of that, it had to be like 180 degrees to me in the sense that okay, I need to study the sport. I need to study the sport, and I need to study like how how I can help these people.
Yeah.
But during that transition, it has actually helped me because now I have more knowledge, and I could actually help more towards the
Mm,
people that are actually in the individual sports. For example, I can now have a sense of the urge of helping someone on tennis or paddle. I can actually help someone from swimming,
mm,
like swim competitively. There are individual sports that now requires a little bit of more attention to it, like the combat sports.
mm,
So it all has add up to the sense of also knowing how the coaches like handle their students, and also how the parents have handled their students, how they approach the game, and also how they train, or how much they train, or how much baggage they have outside of training, which is some things that are like somewhat similar but still different at the same time.
mm. Yeah, interesting. That's really interesting. What would you say is the future of sports psychology?
Oof, tough question. I love it. I would say the future of sports psychology would actually revolutionize the game in the sense that every athlete around the world, or actually that practice sports psychology, are actually going to fulfill their full potential.
Mm,
Not only the physical aspect, but the mental aspect. And they're going to be more matured through the sport because they're going to be diligent of what they do, or how they pass their time, or how they eat, or how they have their diet, or how they communicate with people like around, or how or choosing their friends, or choosing their circle. Like
mm,
it's gonna like everything is gonna like be like and involved. Like everything's gonna be involved in the sense that they're gonna be so curated and so meticulous with what they do in their lives that they're actually gonna perform so much better than the people that actually performed years before.
mm. Yeah, yeah, I will agree on that 100%. To my last question is, what was the best advice you ever received?
Stay present. Stay present. That's the best advice that I could do, like I could give you, because it's the most that I actually learned from myself. Because while staying in the present, you actually are living your life. You're actually like acknowledging everything. Your memory is gonna be better because you actually think of what you're doing right now. Like for example, like right now, I'm actually very present, and I'm actually gonna remember everything that I said right here. It's not gonna be a blank. And the most important thing is that stay present, stay consistent, and stay disciplined.